is our home
Number one hit music station.
on www.keithangesieradio.com.
You already know what time is it. It is exactly time for us to give you radio according to a turn up today, which is definitely different. For the first time, I think, in a very long time, I actually haven't had somebody who is about to actually blow me away in terms of their craft that they most definitely have. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the name is Upiwe Amanda Wagwadziba, and that's most definitely Lady P to you. Without wasting any further time, today we're doing radio according to Risto and Kenda Manende Bangabage. But also, quick one. How are you doing? First things first.
Oh man, I'm doing amazing. Yeah, man, it's really amazing to be here. Greetings to you and all of the viewers and listeners.
All right. How are you doing? How's life been off lately? Let's start there. I like to check in with with my interview. I'm doing my interview. How is everything? Are you okay?
Yeah, I am okay. We are afloat. We've been very busy recently, working on things that are outside of the regular scheduled programming. So everything's just been upside down every now and then, and it is an emotional roller coaster. But we are afloat, and we're doing great. We're doing great.
I love that. Now we can definitely get straight into business. Now, tell me about yourself. Ungubani wapi, usukapi, as well as
Ngisathanda uzalana.
one thing about us.
Yeah. So I am Uristo 27. But ke ekhaya ndazalwa ngujama ngahafane uDlamini uZizwe Fakade. Ndazalelwa eMthatha, grew up in East London, spent some time in Pretoria as a kid, but yeah, man, we're representing the 043, and that's who we are, man.
Now, tell me about the name Risto 27. Who gave you this name as well as team? Now, what does it actually mean? Because I've been asking myself, there's even a 27 behind. What's going on?
So yeah, I come from a very playful family, so the name came about because my cousin was roasting me about a football incident back when I was a kid, and he named me after Barcelona legend Risto Stoichkov. But it's too long and complicated of a name, so I just had to cap it at Risto, and that was after fighting that name for years actually. But yeah, it kind of stuck at some point when I decided to take this rap thing seriously, But yeah, I think it really sounded like a cool name at some point. So, hey, the decisions we make as kids, man.
Interesting ones. Talking about those decisions, take me through, where does the passion for music actually come from?
I think it's a family thing, as much as I don't have really a lot of family members who are within the music industry, but a lot of family members, have really been deep into the music thing, and initially I believe it was triggered by, my uncles, two of them. They were into this reggae hip hop type of vibe, and as a kid, I used to have the time of my life hanging out and jamming with them, and I think at some point, one of my uncles told me how to play the guitar, and I just kind of got hooked into, I guess, the melodic and really aggressive rap style that was displayed at the point in time, and I eventually fell in love with Lil Wayne, and that's where it just kind of took off, and that was, I believe, 15 years ago. So yeah, man, it's been a minute. The love has always been there though, from doing Brenda Fassie covers to going to hip hop ciphers, as a teenager. So yeah, man, the nurturing has always been there.
Has always been there. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to take me through the track that I actually played before we started the interview, which is La Masia or
La Masia.
La Masia. And you worked with who? Take us through that.
So Ula Masia, so the name La Masia is actually the name of Barcelona's academy. So it was really just a title for me because the song was nameless for the longest of times, and I just mentioned to Siren that it was a song that I intended on throwing away, really. But it's kind of it's a bit contradictory considering the fact that I'm a big Real Madrid fan, and I'm out here naming my songs after a rival club. It's weird, but look, man, it's whatever. And I was working with X Wizard on the song. So the guy who's on the second verse is a great friend of mine, and he's a brilliant poet and rapper, but primarily he is a rapper and a musician. But he's one of my friends from PTA. And yeah, man, I just sent him the song because I was like, I want to throw this away, but people are telling me not to, So I would love to have you on the song because I believe that you would match the energy for the song perfectly. And my boy delivered, as he always does.
No, he definitely delivered. Now, you're also a songwriter.
Yeah.
Take me through you writing any kind of song. What goes on? Take me through the writing process.
So I generally start with production because that what speaks more to the emotional aspect of a song, and because I always know what I'm trying to say, or rather because I'm feeling a type of way and I would just love to express that specific feeling. Step one is a question, a statement, um, based on what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling at the time, and there on out, it is a deep dive into my emails looking for a bunch of beats that Fuego sent me, you know. And, usually when that doesn't work out, I'll turn around, swing my chair and my desk and, play a melody, play a chord progression on the keyboard, and that's where I generally get the melodies for my flows that I use when I'm rapping, And I think that is one of the cooler things about my creative process because as much as that's how it usually goes, it can start from any point, because also I have a background in music theory, and I understand certain things that the general public don't understand about music. They just enjoy the music because wow, this
No, no,
sounds
we
amazing.
do. No, we do. No, trust me, we do.
So yeah, that's how it generally goes. And when it comes to writing the lyrics, man, oh, that's one of the more complicated parts because as much as it comes easily, I try to be very accurate with the way that I articulate myself and what I'm trying to say and how I'm trying to say it. So be it the subject matter, be it how I'm delivering the song to, time signatures. Is it going to be a fast flow? Do I want it to be slow because of this and that, So there's a lot of thought that goes into it and a whole lot of intention as well, So everything that I put out has had 5 or 6 personal meetings before it even got to the page.
Interesting times. All right. Now let's talk about the support structure as you actually navigate through this music journey. Who's been there from the get go and who is still there?
Who has been there? There's been a large number of people who've been there from the jump. They just, you know, a lot of them were like, it's a phase, wait, you know, and primarily, so centrally, my family, it was like, you want to be a what? So yeah, man, that's what it was back in like 2016 when I started, when I actually made this decision that I'm following through with this, it started in my parents' bedroom when it was like, "Idlamini kaucho, utitindo yako," because based on the subjects that you're taking, what's going on. I was like, no, guys, nah, I wanna be a DJ, a producer, And it was like my dad was like, get out of my room. But I again I laughed it off at that specific moment because my dad's like is that type of person, but also I could tell he was slightly disappointed. But a while later, he started noticing that man, he is doing this thing, whatever it is, as much as he wasn't happy with it for the longest time, you would be shocked to find out that he's one of my biggest fans right now. I think I've gone platinum on his Spotify account.
What?
So yeah, man, my parents have definitely been there. I came here in my mom's car, for example. So and my brother, who's thrown probably hundreds of thousands at this point into my career, from Uber money to gigs and back, paying for production, paying for studio time, paying for registering the music, just paying for a bunch of random stuff, overhead costs, and that has been my brother for the longest of times, until today, even last week, actually. But yeah, so my family's been at the nucleus of it all. We still have a lot of fights about a bunch of random things way too, but that's the desperation that I know that they have, and they're carrying it out for me because they can't wait to see me there. Because we discuss these things almost every weekend when we're having like family meetings or hangouts, and it's like, okay, so now what are you doing, and how are things looking, how are you feeling, and those conversations generally lead to arguments, but we always hash it out. It's okay, I mean, fine, and we go about it, and my support structure, my friends, Siren,
Hi, Siren.
people were gonna call me and say, dude, I've got this idea, and because of the way that I work, or I don't know, I don't want to say my work ethic, but because of the way that I work, my friends usually like, whoa, now it's too hot, you can have it, and I think half the songs that I have were or are my interpretation of ideas that I got from someone else, so um, I remember on Twitter seeing a conversation about, artists having a ridiculous number of songwriters in their credits and their albums and stuff like that. And that comes from a perspective of not understanding how the creativity and the production process works, because you will have people who are going to come up with ideas, people who are going to come up with melodies, and that is songwriting, So you're going to have to credit them, and it's what also keeps relationships professional, of which a lot of people miss sometimes, and I really appreciate my friends for that, because they are the type of people who are going to mention me in rooms when I'm not there.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
people who are going to willingly sacrifice their sleep, and in some instances, their time, their money, who are going to look to just listen, man, I trust you to do this, so please do this for me. And you'll find that it's not even for them anymore. Now they are doing it to kind of like push me, and just put me on. And I really appreciate them for that, from the guys here in East London, to the guys in Cape Town, Joburg, Pretoria. I really appreciate those guys because they keeping me sane, and they in tough times they keep me believing in, it's gonna work out at some point because you're heading towards the right direction, and that's what it feels like, so I really do appreciate my friends for that.
Shout out to the friends. Now, let's talk about where to from now. What's new? What's going to be happening?
So I recently released a 3-track EP, titled Free Smoke Volume 1.
Okay.
And Free Smoke
Why freeze? Why free?
um because it was songs that were never going to be used, actually, and the pressure that I got from, my creative desk, it was really, but you can't throw this away. This is brilliant music. You might never have this type of idea again, and there's specifically a folder on my laptop where unfinished songs and instrumentals that aren't really or don't really fit into a concept, that's where they go. And when I started that folder, I felt like, yeah, it's probably just an abyss of some sort where these songs are just going to go and perish up until that idea came through to actually release them. And so that is the title. That's where the title comes from. It is songs that have made it out of the vault, you know. And after Free Smoke, because it feels like, to me, it feels like a bridge period until my next drop, which, look, I can't confirm the date because the project is still in the studio.
But it's coming.
there's a number of songs that I intend on putting on that project. So it is definitely coming, because it is an extension of the EP I dropped last year, which was Love in the Dark, and I think I'm comfortable enough to announce that the name of the next project is the Dawn Project.
The Dawn Project. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Dawn Project. Dawn comes after dark. And that's what that project speaks to. I think we've got a single that is ready right now, which features Siren, Melody, and Fuego. It was produced by King Williamstown-based producer Kenzo. So yeah, man, that is an absolutely lovely joint, man. I honestly can't wait to release it, But yeah, man, time and space, hey, time and space. We're really looking towards working towards the release. Also, just there's quite a number of things that are on my plate right now that are, I don't want to say kind of hindering me, but yeah, it's a bunch of things that I just need to get out of the way first, before I jump back into the music. So yeah, people can definitely expect that track, as a single, but I think that's about as much as I'm willing to give away right now.
And you've given us, I feel like, almost everything that we actually wanted. Now, almost wrapping it up, we do know Bangabage Nyanga April is Nyanga Itbansan and Gulek. It's about Freedom Month. Now, coming in from a young individual, I want to find out Bangabage Tinumia is also Shiana Wanam. Also, we're getting closer towards Ipashalofon.
Yes. I look, as the youth, I really do think that we are very much responsible for what society looks like. You know, we are very responsible for ourselves, and our future as a whole. And looking into the fact that we're going to be voting soon, it's Freedom Month. What are we doing as a youth? Where are we looking? Where's our minds at? Look, I can encourage everyone to vote, but if you don't know why you're voting, then that's a problem. If you don't know that it takes umaspala who is, or rather it takes your ward councillor to fix the potholes in your neighborhood, for example. It takes a ward councillor who's been voted in from provincial elections. We need that education for, I mean, not just our colleagues, but our younger cousins, our nieces and our nephews, our kids. We need to be educating them that this is how the system works, and this is how you work the system, and it's really, really important to have the type of knowledge of the people who are governing you, and why they're in the positions that they're in, So my message to the youth is educate yourself, and there's always the narrative of, oh, I didn't know. And
Sinjalo Kitina Zelulucha. That's true. That is true.
not knowing is not the crime or not the sin, but it is it's the lack of effort. I think that's where it is mostly. It's the lack of effort in, fine, this conversation has been had, these questions have been asked, and what are you doing to find out? What questions are you asking? And I'm more than willing to give people a whole thesis of, oh, watu Mandela, watu Biko, watu Ani, but also, what are you as a member of the community and a member of society saying, because your voice matters too. As much as some of us come from homes where we've been, I guess, limited in terms of what we can say and what we should say, but I think at this point in time, if you have an opinion, voice out your opinion. And if opinion yakho ibheke ecaleni, sizakuxelela uba opinion yakho ibheka ecaleni, and we can guide you, because at the end of the day, we have to be our brother's keepers, and yeah, man, that's my message for this month is, let us be our brother's keepers. Let us educate each other, and Hey guys, see you at the polls. Hey,
at the voting polls.
hey, please. That's a very important. That's a very important part is to see each other at the polls as much as we see each other at Groove. You know.
You know, that's actually a great point in
Yeah.
talking about into Dimansana vote because I've noticed whenever we go to Groove, sibabaninzi and siyaxelelana kakhulu about Chomi sizaye endaweni ethile namhlanje eGroovini. But when it comes to voting,
Yo.
nikhe nathumelelani link baphulaphula, especially ulutsha bangaba ke siyavota ngosuku oluthile, nikhe nasithumele eza link. I doubt if I were to go and ask abantu bangaba ke bangapha abantu bobaxelele ba mabavote, how many have you told? Just quick one.
Man, I've told at least a minimum of 50 people.
That's okay.
You know,
Beautiful.
because I think the campaign has been a really long one. I mean, the links to register to vote have been out for the longest
For
of
the
time.
longest time, yes.
You know, and I know that everyone who's got my number in my family knows that they must vote. That link has been flying in the family, you know. So yeah, man, I definitely know that I have been telling people, I've been speaking about it, you know, because these are issues that are, believe it or not, close to my heart, you know, because I have really, I get bothered, you know, by leaving the house, you know, go 12 ebusuku, or rather going home by midnight, you know, either from a gig, from work or whatever, and you know, I have to leave colleagues who don't feel safe getting home by that time. You know, people who were doing shows with me don't feel safe going home by that time. And that is, of course, due to crime, due to roads that are just not safe to drive on, you know, and the likes. And all of that, again, comes down to the governance of our society, you know, and it's really important to really just push that message and not, oh no, be the change you want to see. And as much as that's important, but, you know, understand this change that you're trying to implement at least.
Be the change that you want. Risto, ivale kamnandi. Definitely we had to talk about that. From me to you, sabulela kakhulu ngokuba ngabe ubuhleli nathi namhlanje. Your last words, and we definitely. Oh, before that, kuthiwa ke bring back my jacket when you're done with the interview. I feel like you already know who that is, right? You already know.
I'm here to say that person is lying. This is my jacket. It's
man.
it's got my name on it. It was custom made by a friend of mine who's an artist, Andile Tetani. So yeah, man, he really tricked out this jacket here on the back because it's got, you know, let me take it off.
Yeah, I was about to say, but now that we've heard all about the jacket, Songe Sifunukwa's. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
here.
There, we see you, we see you. Okay,
I live on Earth,
beautiful.
you know, and yeah, this is nobody's jacket. This is my jacket.
Just in case, just in case.
YouTube, but
Jonga kwi-interview xa ugqibile usota laa mcimbi wakho ubuyise. But nonetheless, Risto, thank you so much for joining us. Kubaphulaphuli bonke bebekhona ke behleli nathi ke namhlanje. We were doing radio according to him, and nonetheless, I definitely have to say I love it when young individuals are so passionate xa bethetha, especially good izidibanise nezopolitiko. Kulaa nto benisithi bangaba ke kunyanzeleke bangaba ke sibethelele, because after all, April has to do with Freedom Month, and also we're getting closer and closer towards Ezovoto. So it's been interesting. It's been really amazing getting a view, Risto. 27. He is a rapper, producer, as well as a songwriter. From me to you, we'll definitely keep it going, but definitely going to be giving you one of his greatest hits, Itige Hillview Road. Interesting. I can't wait to hear this one, actually. From me to you, let's definitely kill it for now, but do stay tuned on 0661372723. Oh, go take a beautiful interview.